In today's session, we are seeing the USDJPY holding well above 110 level, and looking from the short to medium term perspective, it looks like that the bearish turn, which was prevalent for most part of last week, is coming to an end, and we can expect some upside movement in the USDJPY. Later in the day, we are also scheduled to get the inflation data, and that is going to be a major factor and how the remaining part of this week will shape up for the USD If we consider the data docket for the day, today you can say that it's a inflation data day. We have the inflation data coming in for the major economies, and if you consider the European station, in it we have the inflation data for Germany, and after it, the France inflation data was also released. And here one important thing to take note of is that for consecutive month, the Germany's inflation data is on the higher side, about 2%. For this month, for the month of June, it has been confirmed at 2.3%, and in prior month it was slightly higher at 2.5%, but it is still above the central bank targeted rate of 2%, and this is indicative of the price pressures being observed in goods as well as in services segment. For inflation on the French soil, the pressure is not that high. It is still below 2%, and for the month of June, it has been confirmed at 1.5%. Moving to the US data docket, we have the inflation data coming in. The CPI numbers are scheduled to be released just before the start of US session, and not much of a change is expected this month also. We are expecting the inflation to be a lot higher at around 5%. This time around, the expectations is of 4.9%, just slightly below the last month's reading of 5%, but it is, of course, a lot higher than the Fed's mandated target of 2%. But Fed is expecting these price pressures, the inflation being observed in the US economy, to be transitory, so they are not yet acting strongly against it, and we will have to see how next couple of months pan out for these inflationary pressures. Now let's shift our attention to the technical side. We will first consider the USDJPY's technical formation. Afterwards, we will see what are the trading opportunities in Euro USD. Let's start with the USDJPY's technical outlook. This is the daily time frame chart, and after this decline starting closer to 111.5 and extending all the way towards 109.5, we are seeing some semblance of normalcy in the USD and the price action has been in a retracement mode for last two sessions. In today's session, the momentum is rather muted. You can call it sideways also, and as long as we are trading above 110, I think we should avoid going in for the fresh short sale trades. Rather than that, it might be the time to go on a scalping offensive and look for short term buy on dip strategy trade, where we can be quite hopeful of profiting as long as supports on the lower side hold. So we will be looking for the trading opportunities in light of this. If you consider the technical parameters, both these technical parameters are not really exactly looking great for a bullish bullish outlook. We have this immediate hurdle in place around 110.5 in form of the first, not first, it is the central pivot point of this month's pivot point series. And if you consider the regression curve, it has just started to incline on the lower side. The only solace you can say is this price action moving in the upper band, but we do have to remain cautious, and that's why I say that it is time to look for the scalping opportunities, not a big trend reversal just yet. Rather than that, we can consider the price action And looking at the immediate swing lows and swing highs, we can go for the trading opportunities, keeping in mind what are the key support and key resistance levels in place. We have seen the reversal on the lower side coming in after this testing of the first support of this month pivot point series, and from there on the USDJPY climbed all the way till this central pivot point, and after that it has stalled. It spent most of the day consolidating, and even now in today's session we are not really seeing any big movement, and we are indeed seeing some selling momentum, selling pressure build up after it got closer to this immediate hurdle. But I'm not really expecting any big sharp move in the session before the release of CPI data. After the CPI data comes in, we can't say for sure how the price action will evolve. But if some key levels hold on the lower side as well as on the higher side, we can form our outlook and then try to exploit the situation to our advantage. And for that, we will have to rely on the lower time frame charting, where we have this convergence of 50 and 100 SMAs taking shape closer to 110.2. And I think this is where we have this support in place. We have this consolidation highs, and along with that, we do have this convergence, the confluence of these two SMAs. And this is the price zone where we can try our luck. The price band of around 110.15 to 110.30 should be a good choice for any doubling on the buy side if we want to go for a buy trade rather than going for a market open. I think it will be prudent for us to wait it out and allow the USDJPY to correct somewhat from the current levels, and if it corrects and if it should hold, and it should not be in a decline when we go for a new trade. So first we always have to allow the underlying instrument to consolidate after getting closer to our desired level, and only after we see some kind of base formation we can take the chances, we can go for a new trade. So the levels here to watch out for in today's session are going to be closer to 110.2. Right now we have the price action around 110.3, so it's not really that far from the current price levels. And on the higher side, we can expect the retest of the central pivot point, which is there around 110.5. And if the momentum is strong enough after the release of CPI data, we can even expect a break on the higher side, and our immediate target can be kept closer to these 200 SMA, which is there around 110.6. So this is a purely intraday trading perspective, and we will have to trade cautiously here. Now moving to the Euro USD's technical outlook. This is the daily time frame chart, and we have these bearish momentum prevalent in the Euro USD for quite long now. And after this steep decline, the Euro USD has gone in a consolidation phase, and if we consider the price action for last week or two, we have seen the Euro USD trading in a very narrow range with some key support on the lower side. As I said in yesterday's session, 1.18 is going to be the immediate support for the Euro USD, and as long as it is above it, we can take our chances and try to look for any buying opportunities. So if we have to take a fresh look on the technical formation, the regression curve remains the way it was in yesterday's session. And also, if we consider the pivot point formation, not much of a change is there. The price action is happening in between this key support on the lower side and the resistance on the higher side. If we simply look for this base formation, I think, given the fact that price action has been muted and we do have some sort of higher high and higher low formation on the lower time frame chart, we can, when I said lower time frame, it is this time period only. afterwards of 5th of July, somewhere here, after it made a low below 1.180 and it rebounded sharply. Afterwards, it has been trading continuously above the prior swing low. So this is the price area which we will have to keep in mind, and then taking that into account, we can target for some scalping opportunities. In yesterday's session, I had talked about this immediate support coming in place closer to 100, 1.183, and from this level, we saw the reversal in yesterday's session. Today, we have again this development where the Euro USD is approaching closer to the immediate support, and I think we will have to allow it to consolidate at least for a couple of hours, and if it holds, if it respects the immediate support and doesn't really go on to fresh swing low, then in that circumstances we can take the trade. We can go for any buy trade in the price band of 1.183 to 1.184, while keeping the stop loss anywhere closer to 1.181 or thereabout, and expecting a move towards 1.19 in course of time over next 2 3 days. So that's it from my side, looking at the current technical formation of the Euro USD. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. You can check out the Dicoscopy Analytics page for further coverage of the market. The links have been provided. And if you want to start trading, you can download the JForex platform. If you have any uh, trouble accessing it and installing it, you can